friend Malvika who took the time to do this in the middle of a talk just for you. I hope you have an incredible year. I hear you're a jack of all trades. You're able to do so many things: photography, cinematography, editing. I wish I could do all of those things. Keep going. I hope I get to see you at the next 125 and help her restart her family business. Okay?
Hi, nice to meet you guys. Big fan. I want to ask, like, as a content creator today, you're often told do you have to start making content according to the algorithms and according to the trends, and you're torn between whether you should stay true to your authenticity and your individuality. And we see a lot of content creators who are very authentic, very individualistic, take a lot of time to get the attention that are a lot of people who follow trends of the algorithm. So what do you do then?
Again, that's a great question for the time that we are currently living in. Can I swear on stage? Yeah, I mean, fuck the algorithm. So I'll tell you something very honestly. All of us got into arts in some capacity so we can get away from the rat race. And the thing I love about art is it can't be quantified in numbers. And if we start bringing it down to number of likes and number of shares and number of real views, it's lost its entire purpose for me, right? My thing is I create for it to satisfy me, and I can go to bed at night thinking I did the best I can today. But the minute we add metrics like this to sort of see what our work is doing, unless of course it's for a paid client where it makes sense, you have to make that money and satisfy their requirement. But when you're creating art for yourself, I'll give you a very small example. Before Instagram, I was on Facebook, and my Facebook page had grown to almost like 1 million following and all of that. But Facebook became what it is today. It became shit. So guess what I did? I quit Facebook. Right? I'm not in it for that. So if Instagram does this tomorrow, I don't know if you guys have noticed what. Something's wrong, guys. Should we check? But when Instagram does the same thing, and I don't know if you have noticed now, but Instagram going the way it is going, I've lost interest in being on Instagram. So, because for me, it's just a way for me to connect with people like you, which is why we're all here today. It's not for me to, get bonus points from, hey, look, this guy is so great. And that. It's great to have conversations and build a community, but it's definitely not a good metric for you to judge art. Which is why I don't judge competitions. For me, I'm doing this for myself. And if I really need critique on my work, I'm not going online for it. You know how negatively biased the internet can be? I have friends who are incredible photographers, and again, content is a very rudimentary way for you to say work. So when you start looking at everything as content, then what are you really creating? It's already all there in front of you. Right? So it takes for you to put time and thought, and every time you see a trend and you jump on the bandwagon, and even if I don't want to, I dance and show my ass to the camera and then order the product. That's not for me. I'm not saying anything like that, but just not for me. That's not why I got into this.
Thanks to you for the amazing.
And some people stick to trends, some people are a trend creator himself. Like I said, guys, you have to make them feel good.
Thanks, Audi. As Audi just kind of summed it up, I am not into the race, and that's the way I kind of look at things. I create content for myself, and there are critics here who can take me for a ride with whatever I create. So that's what they keep doing. But what Audi was saying is like, I see Instagram going the Facebook way. So that's I don't know how we are going to go, because Instagram itself...
AI doesn't give us, if we don't give ourselves that credit, then it's very difficult because we need to believe in what we can bring to our art, right? We can't be fearful of every kind of technology that comes, because this is the future is technology. We just need to learn to coexist. I don't think anyone needs to be worried if we're really good at what we do or you're willing to get better at what we do.
Thank you.
Check. Jokes fall flat. If the things that we say make no sense, and even if you think that you've gotten too old, please help us get the spirit of the under 25 summit in us. So just to quickly introduce, that's Arjun Kamath, incredible portrait photographer. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that sort of stuff. Applause. Yes, very, very awkward. He's an introvert, so the more attention you can give him, the better it is. This is Sandeep, even more of an introvert. Just hit him with applause. And this is Harshad. He is a legend. He's a very good friend of ours. I'll get into his story a little bit later. Basically, I think way too many things going on at once. Not at 125 in my head. So to make this a little easier, if you guys have questions and you want us to answer something, and if you have anything in specific that we can talk about and give a very wise, I have grey hair now, very wise inputs on, please let us know. Otherwise, we can just talk about any of the topics that you guys have in mind. So let's go. Applause! Yeah! Even for nothing, just applaud for everything. Any questions? Anybody has any questions?
Sir, do you have any practices to suggest to compound up in photography?
So his question, for those of you that couldn't hear, was practices in photography. For me, it is just to shoot every single day. And even if you're not shooting with your camera or your phone, to just write down your observations every single day. Just keep practicing the art of seeing. And then make sure that you stay in touch with it, because like we were discussing earlier, you get a little rusty. If you don't do something over and over again. So the only thing is that. Sandeep, any test shoots?
No, I can kind of second Audi. Just keep exploring whatever you want to kind of shoot every day. It could be of any kind of a genre. But yeah, it's okay. There'll be good days, bad days. But just experience it.
Yeah, I think that's a very good question, and what I would suggest is that we all have phones with us every single day. We have access to cameras, including our parents, which wasn't there like a decade or two ago. I think cameras are easily accessible to us. I think there's a lot of mindless shooting that's also happening. I mean, mindless could be different for every person. I think a little bit of thought as to why you're shooting what you're shooting will give you a little bit of clarity and will help you find your voice, because we see that when your content is scattered, it's very difficult for you to connect with it, for even the audience to connect with it. So I think toning down or bringing it down to what you really want to shoot and sticking to that and getting better at that is what I would suggest, because otherwise you can keep shooting everything and have no direction. That's what I feel. Thank you.
Yeah, Asha doesn't want to speak after us. Low lives are spoken, so he said no.
He's already amazing. He doesn't need to shoot.
Next question. Anyone questions?
KL. So right now we are in kind of a generative AI era, right? ChatGPT, Stable Diffusion, and etc. There are a lot of things for editing images as well right now. So how do you see that in future, and how that can be leveraged to improve our editings, or how can our original art be modified and improved to present it in a better way? Like, do you see that happening? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that's an awesome question, but it goes back to the sort of same thing that any industry goes through, right? I mean, this is automobiles replacing horse carriages, better automobiles replacing existing automobiles and stuff like that. And photography has been through the same thing with the kind of technology that's flowed through it. But from whatever I understand, and like a lot of the AI people that I speak to, a friend Vijay, who couldn't be here, was at a convention in Israel recently where he was meeting the founders of these companies that you're talking about. And all of them intend for it to be a tool for making your existing life better and not to replace you. If you ever feel that that's what is happening, I think we need to sort of realign with why we are doing this. If the job is to just do a menial job every single day that can be replaced, then you will eventually get replaced. But if you're bringing us, a sense of individuality to your work, I think it is going to be a tool that really accelerates the stuff that you do. For example, I think Adobe has always had AI with the kind of stuff that they've done. Many years ago when they introduced content-aware film, that was mind-blowing for us. And now it's become a part of our everyday thing that we don't even think about it as, oh, is that AI, is that not AI? And now when they release their new thing about changing, selecting subjects so easily, again you're like, oh shit, that's so easy. But now every time you select a subject, you're like, oh no, that AI is selecting my subject and it's going to take you're like, I'm saving time with this. So I think it's just about us adapting a little bit and applying and understanding these technologies. And I still haven't taken as much time to understand it. But with whatever little I've read up, I see it as a great tool. And it's also a great challenge for you to improve yourself from there. If, you know, on the basis of all the stuff that people have already done, if AI can do so much, now what new can I bring, you know, to help myself accelerate with the technology that I have available. But I look at it as a great thing for us. I mean, have you seen all the memes around people teaching ChatGPT that 2 plus 2 is equal to 5? Right? So it is what you teach it, it's what you give them inputs for. So if you teach them that, if you teach AI that it's there to help you, I guess it will help you. So teach them to take over the world, I guess. That's what's going to happen.
Thank you.
Basically, adaptability. We need to change with the time. So whatever comes as a technology, make the best use of it. There's always plus and minus in technology. But I mean, as Audi was saying, like how exactly you use it for your betterment of what you're creating, take it forward.
Yeah, I think when any new technology comes or there's an advent of anything new, there's always a hot debate about whether it's the death of something. They said that television would die someday, but people are still consuming content on TV. Then they said, as soon as OTT came, they said cinemas are going to die. Now you've seen Pathaan, what it's done, right? So I think it's an age where it's possible for parallel mediums to exist, and it depends on what you choose and how you choose various mediums to enhance. For example, I am planning a shoot in Varanasi, right? So if you want to really take advantage of AI, you put in elements which you want to shoot, and it will give you different ideas. So you can use that to enhance your own work as opposed to saying, oh, it's going to take over from me. Because at the end of the day, AI has no brain, right? And we have a brain, so we are not.
So all of us are a little bit rusty. We haven't met as many people since the pandemic. So we're going to